I can truly say that I've been blessed. I can truly say that I've been blessed. I can truly say that I've been blessed. I got a testimony. All right. I've got a testimony. You've got a testimony on this glorious Tuesday. Tanya Tuesday is what we call it because we have Real Talk with Tanya White at WLLV. Today's topic is powerful women of influence who have grace and faith to keep going after an unexpected health issue. And I'm excited today because not only do I have two phenomenal guests, but they're both my sorors. Ooh, Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. I always give homage to my beloved sorority. Can we see? Hi, Dr. Christine.
Hey, how you
Cosby
doing,
Gaither.
Okay.
I gotta say your whole name.
Yeah, the whole name.
If I knew that middle name, I would say it.
It's Nicole.
Dr. Christine Nicole Cosby Gaither. Y'all know Christine Cosby Gaither. She is Louisville's. Louisville's what? Child, we have seen you growed up. If you have not been a member of St. Stephen under Dr. Cosby and the lovely Barnetta, you know the Cosby kids as Louisville's kids. Yeah, I know. Do you still hate that? You trying to shake that?
It will not be shaken.
It will not be shaken. Mm-hmm. But we have seen you grow up from little tot to a grown woman, and we're going to talk about your incident, your stroke, and how everybody, all of this world were praying for you, and I know you felt it.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to go in deeper. So just tell us how you're doing today before I get into my announcement.
I'm doing good. First of all, thank you so very much for having me, Sora. I
appreciate it. Yes. I love having wonderful women. But like I said, there's nothing like the Krispy Kreme dream of 1913 on the show.
That's hilarious.
I know.
But yes, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Great. I'm so grateful to God that I'm doing well.
Doing well. You look gorgeous. Yeah, y'all know Christine's hair is always laid. Y'all know that, right? She got the braids all fresh.
Well, I got to do something.
I know. You a mama, a busy mama, a businesswoman, and you running all these things. Well, let's just get into our interview. I'll do my announcements later. We have Christine, and then I have my other soror. She's going to call in. Y'all know she's the queen of the millionaire marketplace. Nachand Hyde Trabue. She's going to be on at 9:30. So share this broadcast with all your friends. We may have a moment for somebody to call in and ask a question. But Doctor, I got to give her the doctor. She just haphazardly uses that doctor. Dr. Christine, tell us briefly, because we have listeners who may not know who you are outside of Louisville. Tell us briefly who you are.
So my name is Dr. Christine Cosby Gaither, and I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. I have multiple hats. I'm a businesswoman. I have a nonprofit called A Stroke of Grace, and I think we'll get into that. We'll discuss more about that. But a little bit about my story and why I'm here is on January 28, 2019, my life forever changed. 4:45 a.m., I got the urge to use the restroom in the middle of the night. I stood up to use the restroom, and I blacked out. The rest is history. I do not remember exactly what happened. I think I woke up maybe 9 days later.
Wow.
And so I have no memory of between January 28th and maybe mid to in February. So I have to go based off of what, of course, my family told me happened. But I blacked out. They called the ambulance. The ambulance came, took me to one hospital. I was able to get a blood clotting medication, and from there I was able to be transferred to another hospital downtown, just so I could be stabilized at the first hospital. Right. I was in a coma, and I saw it's interesting about the dreams that you have, and the things and thoughts that you just never. I never would imagine the things that I went through, things that I saw. But anyways, when I was there, I was given a 5% chance of living. Wow. I was blind, I could not walk, could not talk. and I was paralyzed completely on my left side.
Oh, completely. Now, we must say that you were under 40 when this
Yes,
happened.
I was 35 years old.
35 years old. And so, because a lot of people think that, strokes are, happen when you're older, seasoned, but you were 35 years old. Had you had any symptoms or health problems before this?
No symptoms, no health problems. Wasn't on any medications. Had no blood pressure issues, no diabetes, no anything.
Nothing.
And still great. I'm so grateful that now I still, the blood pressure thing is now, I watch it very closely, but I still have no diabetes. I still have, I literally right now, they cannot figure out why I had the stroke.
Wow. Unexpected health issue. Nothing, never smoked.
Never smoked.
35 years old, and you say you got up to use the restroom in the morning and you blacked out. And after that, you don't remember but waking up 9 days later.
Well, I don't even remember waking up the 9 days later, honestly. But I know that's when I was told I woke up, but I don't remember. Literally, I don't know. It wasn't until I was leaving my hospital and they transported me in the ambulance to my rehab, inpatient rehab. And that's the first memory that I really have. So I don't remember anything that happened. I don't remember anything. That's why I said mid to late February is when I began to remember again.
Mid to late February. So 4:45 a.m. went to the bathroom. What does your husband say happened then, and what has he shared with you what he was going through? Because you said they gave you 5% chance of living. 5%. Did y'all hear that? 5% chance of living. And we're talking to her today. So did he ever share what he was going through or what he felt at that time?
So the one wonderful thing about my husband is that he is probably the most patient and level-headed person that I know. So where I panic in every situation,
yes,
he thinks through. He's completely opposite of me. So so he said that as soon as he saw me go down, he said he looked at me and saw something's wrong. He knew immediately that he needed to call 911.
Okay.
So he called 911. And at the time, my husband also was working for the fire department. So that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. So that's why he's patient. He has to be patient in his line of work.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and actually it was one of his friends who ended up, the fire department showed up at the scene first.
Yes. Which they normally do until the ambulance gets there.
So they showed up at the house first. Of course, the kids were in the bed. I have two wonderful daughters. The kids were in the bed asleep. So he was able to, when he knew that his friends were there, he knew that I was going to be okay and I was good in their hands while he got the kids ready.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're in the hospital. You say you have no recollection. Take us back to when you woke up and now you're starting your rehab and your recovery. What did you have to do? How long were you in the hospital?
Oh, I was inpatient my goal was to get out of inpatient in time for Easter that year. So I don't remember when Easter was that year. I'm sorry.
I think it was April.
Okay, so I was inpatient that long, but then I was outpatient. As soon as they released me, I was outpatient 5 days until I left December 30th of 19.
Wow. And from February to December.
Yes.
So what was 5% chance? What was, I know you saying, you didn't have much memory, but what was really going through your mind when they're telling you, you had a 5% chance? And when you hear we don't know what caused this, that's still like.
Well, first of all, I was never told that I have 5% chance. Until I graduated from all of my rehabs. Okay. They kept that away from me.
Good. So now you're not knowing. So what was you going through? Because you said you didn't have a recollection, but you're in this hospital. You knowing that something is different with your body because you said on the left side you're totally paralyzed, right?
I was totally paralyzed. I was blind. I couldn't see. But the biggest thing is I just felt that if I could just push through, my biggest thing is if I could just see again.
Right.
I could get through it.
Right. So totally blind. So many things are happening at one time. Mm-hmm. So now you can't see. Mm-hmm. And like you said, your wife, mother, all that's going through. I can't see what am I, because we're always in taking care of everybody else mode. Right. And now you have to literally focus totally on yourself.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's crazy how it happens. But the biggest thing that outside of being able to see is my memory.
Yes.
And sometimes not remembering things is a blessing in disguise.
Yes. I know that's right.
So, but, so I didn't even remember I had a child.
Oh, wow.
So, because what they did is they wanted me to make sure I went so hard on rehab. So, they never told me that I did not meet my daughter again until like 3 days before I was released.
Wow.
From inpatient. So I went months without seeing her. So when we first saw each other, she was scared of me. I was scared of her. She was 2. She didn't know what was going on. So
my goodness, if you're listening to Real Talk with Tanya White, look, my Facebook is live. You got Instagram live. And this is a mighty story. I remember when it happened. When I say everybody across this globe was praying for you and praying for the Cosby family, because now not only are you going through this, your husband, like you said, your daughter, 2 years old, she's probably wondering where mommy is and all this stuff for months. Your mom, and going through that, my child is sick. And really when you're going through that, we are in a state of things are out of our control, and all we have to do is pray and believe. Because I know when my parents were sick, I wanted to do everything that I could. But I know when my sister was sick, my parents tried to do everything and they couldn't. So talk to me now about, I know y'all talk about this as a family and how God has blessed and how you really have a testimony. I'm listening to this and you saying you didn't wasn't reintroduced to your daughter for months. Tell us how this impacted not only your family, but your faith in God.
Yes, so of course, first of all, I do have a testimony.
Yes, you do, honey.
And I say this all the time, but you are looking at a miracle, literally.
Looking at a miracle. And, aren't you looking at a miracle?
I would say that because I technically should not be talking to you right now.
Right.
In many ways, you probably can't even recognize, but I am still paralyzed on the right side of my face.
Oh, wow, no.
The inside of my mouth. My tongue. You need your tongue to talk.
Yes, you do.
And they taught me how to talk without using my tongue.
Wow.
I don't have any feeling in my tongue.
Wow. So this is total whole adjustment. Now, people see you and we don't know the details of that you're still recovering. You're still regrouping from your stroke, which is a stroke of grace, as you're talking about this testimony. And so Howard, now, not only had you changed what you do physically, your physical being has changed, but on the road to recovery, because we see you with Demond Means working out by any means necessary. Fitness. I say necessary because he knows I've been with Dewan and I'm like, Lord have mercy, by any means necessary, I'm going to get through this session because he's no joke. So now you have to not only watch what you intake, but change your whole lifestyle, correct?
Right. So it's interesting. I was in rehab for so long that they became my comfort, and I was scared to go home.
Wow.
So
that's real talk,
one of the things that I really wanted to do, I kept asking, so what's next? Because I'm comfortable with my nurses, I'm comfortable with my doctors. I said, what's next? And they literally said, we have someone who has worked with stroke patients, who has left our institution and has started his own. And his name is Dewan Means.
Lord have mercy.
And
who is a member of St. Stephen, isn't he?
And we think that your next step is you need to go to him. So literally, I left rehab on December 30th, and I started with Dewan on January 3rd.
Lord have mercy. Listen, Dewan, ain't no joke, first of all. even though he's rehabbing you, you have to push through some of those physical exercise. Tell us, okay, so now you left your comfort zone. Are you back home with your family when you start with Dwan?
Yes, I am back home with my family. Yes, I am back home with my family.
So now you're trying to remember who they are. Now you're starting a whole new regimen with somebody who's going to help you physically get back. All this is going on at once, and then you're still not remembering the depthness of what really happened to you.
Right.
So, how did it work with Dwan?
So Dwan, the blessing about Dwan is Dwan. That's what he did. He was in rehab and worked with stroke patients.
Wow.
So, and people see him, they just think that he's, in gym, and he's wonderful. He's a wonderful trainer.
Yes, he is.
But also at the same time, he knows about the anatomy. He knows about about the brain and what has just happened. And he will tell you on that day, it took 2 people to walk me into the place. Now I go in freely.
Wow.
But one of the things is I appreciate that, yes, he works me out, but we still do things like hand-eye coordination.
Yes.
We still have, I still have challenges going down the steps. So we do a lot of exercises going down the steps, things to try to get my mind. And I do a lot of agility stuff. I do a lot of... Yes, we do a lot of
I know Dwan means they know.
I do a lot, because you take for granted being able to walk one foot in front of the other. I still have a lot of challenges with that, and my balance is really off. So we do a lot of balance stuff. So it's more than just fitness.
Right.
It's the extra rehab that he's given.
Yes. If you just joined Real Talk with Tanya White, we're talking to Dr. Christine about her stroke of grace. In her journey, very interesting and very, very inspiring, Christine. I'm the book person, and I always ask people on this show who don't have a book, will this eventually go into a memoir?
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Y'all heard it, that this is going to go into memoir. And I know your dad is an accomplished author, so you already got your people, but when the book comes out, you have to come back on Real Talk and share it. All right. A stroke of grace. If you want to call 571-1240 and give us your take on, because everybody, when I say everybody, not only in this city, but around this social media globe was praying for you. And we literally watched your story. And people were very transparent sharing your journey with us. And we're grateful for that. So how has your faith changed now that you know what happened, and you are a stroke of grace? You're a stroke of grace. You're a living miracle. What is your mission now? Let's go into your stroke of grace.
So yes, a stroke of grace. So one of the things that I saw when I was in rehab is I did not see anyone who looked like me, and that was challenging to me. And not only as a Black woman, but as a young Black woman. I was 35, and most of the persons who were in there were like 70 plus.
Yes.
And there, I had a child. I still had, my future. I still had my career ahead of me. Most of the persons, they were retired. So I always ask the question to my speech therapist, not a stroke of grace. Real quickly, a stroke of grace was started as an Instagram account.
Instagram account.
Speech therapy, I had to create a separate Instagram account where I could go live in speech therapy. And they taught me how to speak through that by looking in the mirror, looking at myself.
Oh, wow.
So that's where...
Did you come up with the name, or they came up?
No, I came up with the name just randomly.
Wow.
Just randomly.
Divine random.
Yes.
A stroke of grace.
In order for me to graduate from speech therapy, I had to give a presentation to the entire rehab gym about what I was going to do with the stroke of grace. I just did it just haphazardly, just trying to graduate from speech therapy so I can get out. But
did y'all hear this? She's just so cool with it. I just did it haphazardly to graduate from speech therapy.
I never thought there was going to be anything, to it. So, but anyways, some of my friends and I, we created a community online.
Yes.
This Stroke of Grace. And I said, well, what if I brought that community to Louisville? I'm sure there's other Black stroke survivors here in Louisville. Let us get together. So I hosted
young Black stroke survivors.
Yes, and I hosted an event. And I said, oh, we'll have about 10, 15 people come, just something small. There were 78 people at the first one. So
78.
And I thought,
she said, I thought 10. Listen, on Facebook Online, Anissa said that was a divine strategy. Dewan, right? Yes, it's the Dewan thing. Dewan. He's so crazy. But Dr. Christine, let me call her Dr. Christine. When you're just sitting here, you're so cool with it. Just like, I'm just so cool with it. But the impact of what you've gone through and how your testimony is creating opportunities in other avenues for people, especially young Black stroke victims, because I never knew that, like you said, you didn't see anybody like you in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, okay, I know it's something, but you said, I'm just going to host this event. I hope 10 comes, and 78 came.
And then from there, they said, we want to do more. Let's create, because we were a community. We all understood each other. We understood mentally what we were going through. We just became a community here.
In Louisville.
Yes.
Were there young Blacks in attendance as well?
Yes.
Wow. So they didn't have an outlet as well.
Right. So then I don't know how one person told another person, and then all of a sudden we're now all over the country. So
that's how it works. When God is in it, when you have a stroke of grace, Dewan, wow, 78 people. And what you have done was given an outlet to 78 people plus. Now you say you're all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things at that first meeting? And I know you can't share specifics, but I know people was exhaling, because now, like you said, they have a community.
Yeah, and then it also forces, sometimes when we go through things, after we come out, we never deal with the trauma that we went through. So we had people, stroke survivors on there that had a stroke maybe 10, 15 years ago. They got themselves back, and then they never dealt with the emotions of and what they felt and how they. So it was really, really good to be in that space with other persons who were like-minded and other persons who supported those.
Yes.
Because it wasn't just stroke survivors; it was their caregivers, it was their family members, it was
And when we don't deal with, and I don't think they deliberately didn't deal with it, they just didn't know how. Like you said, you lost your memory, so you couldn't remember certain things. You lost your vision, so you couldn't see certain things. That's a scary place to be.
Yes.
And when there's no one else in your immediate circle sometimes who understands what you've gone through, and you don't have that community, it's like, what do I do? Right. Even if you go to therapy, that therapist is not going to understand what you really dealing with until a group called like a Stroke of Grace comes in. And so it is traumatic. It is traumatic. And then going through that and moving forward, now that you have a community, what are some things?
I'm sorry, somebody just said that he was a stroke survivor.
A stroke survivor, Zelda Alderson.
Yeah, I need to know her.
She needs.
Zelda, I need to know you.
Zelda, she needs to know you. Friend Dr. Christine Cosby Gaither on Facebook.
Thank
and
you.
Then I'll connect y'all inbox. No, that's how we heal and get
right.
And so now, tell us, after this first 78 people, you know how many families were impacted? They went. I know everybody went home and say, I finally found my community. I finally found people who understand
and
what I'm going through.
By the way, who look like me?
Who? All of them were Black?
Yes, ma'am.
What you say? So 78 Black men and women in this city didn't have a space or a place to come together and see like-minded people until Dr. Christine Cosby Gaither had Now, it was necessary that you went through that.
It was, and I say that to myself because I always, I've never asked why.
Mm-hmm.
I've never asked why me. I always ask why not me.
Why not me? Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I just feel like I've always been a strong individual. I've always pushed through anything that I wanted to push through, and I give nothing but the Lord credit for that. But I've always been a strong individual. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, why I hate to say it, but why I don't want to ask why me.
Right.
Why not me?
What's next? What's next? What do I do with what this test that I've gone through and my testimony to help other people, to help 78 other people come together, African American men and women who didn't have a outlet or space. Now they have a space to deal with their trauma and discuss and have a support. So what is next? What is now that was one meeting. So, now this is turned into a whole organization.
Yes, so now we're doing things, various things across the country. But our next in-person thing is on April the 1st. It's called Coffee and Conversation. And we're just going to come together and we're going to talk about the topic of living to a tomorrow.
Living to a tomorrow.
Yeah, how we can all come together, and how we can change the things and dynamics in our lives and what we're currently doing, the way we eat, the way we take care of ourselves.
Yes.
It's because people don't know this, but strokes are 80% preventable.
80% preventable. Strokes are 80%.
They're 80% preventable.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, it's all about education. If you're not getting the education, you can't prevent it because you don't know how to prevent it.
Yeah.
You got to be educated in order to do that. So we will be having Coffee and Conversations. It is free, and it will be held on April 1st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will have...
Where is it going to be?
It will be at Simmons College of Kentucky, but it is their Dumanil campus.
The Dumanil campus.
Yes, on Barnett campus. So we are going to have a panel discussion with a physician, Dr. Tanya Evans. Dr. Tanya Evans is with Humana's Center Well. Dr. Jessica Dow, she owns her practice MedLife Fit, and Miss Dominique Coleman, who is a nurse practitioner with Uville Health.
Wow.
And
April 1st. We're going to repeat that information. April 1st. Listen, Sora, our other Sora has called in Nachand, the queen of everything business in Louisville. Hello, Sora.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on this very, very necessary show. Now, we know you as Nachand, the business queen of everything, and mentor to everybody who wants to launch businesses and for them to be successful. But now God, and you're the Tri-God warrior. You just do a lot of stuff, Soror. I stay tired looking at what you do. Okay, so we can't hear you. Vinny, can you give us some volume? We got to hear Nachand. So Nachand, we're talking about Dr. Christine's powerful story about her stroke of grace and her journey after having a stroke. Now, you just have faced a health trauma as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Hello, Sora.
Hey, Sora.
So much. Yeah, hey. And to all the listeners who are listening in. This whole health challenge just came out of nowhere. I went from being extremely healthy all of my life, besides being in the Ohio Valley, having, allergies and things of that sort. But it went from being extremely healthy to last year, kept noticing, I'm like, something is going on with my mobility. And I started noticing that I had to lean on the wall more to walk. And I started noticing that I was getting extremely tired throughout the day. And I said, something is going on. So I immediately started contacting my doctor. I said, run every single test you could possibly think of. I said, I need every single test. Something is going on. And lo and behold, the last quarter of 2022, the last test that was ran was a full body MRI. And I'll never forget going back to the doctor, what the doctor called me, said, I need you to actually come into the office to get these test results versus me telling you over the phone. And I said, well, okay, I'm on my way. So I came in the doctor's office, said, I got some news, some real news to share with you. And he shared with me that I had multiple sclerosis and showed me what that, you know, what that looked like on the MRI with the lesions around my brain. And it took me a minute to just stop. And I had to take it all in. And I was like, how do I live now? And this is where I'm at today, is trying to live the new life and the new chapter that God has for me. Because I see this not as a adversary or problem, but I see this as God is it's a test. It's just a test.
It's just a test.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna move different with it.
You have been example of faith and perseverance through anything. Grief. You shared your story in your book, Try God, when you was starting your businesses. And so people around this world have been inspired, have been motivated, have reached levels in their life that they would not have reached had you not been a model, and that fuel behind people to say, hey, if I can do it, you can too. And so now I love what you said. This is just another avenue for you to share and be a testimony through your test. Now, you said this happened last year, and they keep saying volume, please, because they want to hear this, Queen. So you said it's last year you noticed something, and you told your doctors run every test, which we have to advocate for ourselves, and I'm glad you did that. So take us back to that moment where he's explaining the results, and you heard the word multiple sclerosis. What was going through your mind at that time?
Wow, to be honest and transparent with everyone listening in, when he told me what it was, I put my hands, both my hands on my head, and I just, was speaking to myself in a doctor's office. I was just speaking life, and I'm like, God, you got this. Mm-hmm. God, you got this. You're gonna have to help me to understand what he's saying. You're gonna have to help me to be able to take this in. You're gonna have to help me to be able to walk out of this doctor's office and walk in the authority of God. And you're gonna have to help me to go sit down and tell my husband what the doctor just told me, and be able to take all of this in and trust God and try God for the rest. At that point, I couldn't even, it was so much to take in, I didn't know what to do. I had to do it, but what I did know to do was to just try God with the rest. And that's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing. So Nachand, now this happened, you at the height of another season in your life. Millionaire Marketplace is taking off, correct?
Yes.
When this happens, opportunities on opportunities are coming your way. So did you think at any moment, any inkling, Lord, listen?
Yeah.
And
so
go ahead.
A very good point you brought up. It's exactly right. Actually, to be honest with you all, when it happened, I had just signed a contract in the deal to take the Millionaire Marketplace for its first time, and it was the first concept here in Louisville to take this whole Black-owned marketplace inside of the mall in St. Matthews through the busiest season around the holidays. And I said to myself, and this happened after I had already signed it, and I just sat there and I thought about it. I said, how am I going to do this now? How is this going to happen? How am I going to be able to take all of these amazing Black entrepreneurs predominantly from West Louisville and Smoketown, and take them out, and we're going out to Mount St. Matthews and help create economic development for them? How am I going to do this piece now that he just told me that I have multiple sclerosis? So I said, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I said, I need help. How is this going to happen? And so I kept contemplating, was I going to stop it or not? I didn't know what to do. I was just freaking out.
And look at the Lord. Soror Dewan Wright said, you need to talk louder so he can hear you. So all of this, and I want people to know that life happens. Like Dr. Christine said, she was just going to the bathroom and that happened. You in the middle of, life-changing deals for not just yourself, but many minority business owners expanding their brand. And so now you have to stop and take care of you because life is happening to you. And now you're saying, okay, God, I need help. And you know what? I feel God saying, that's exactly what I wanted you to say, daughter, that you needed help. Because I just know you a little bit. We went to Western Catholic together, and, we worked together, but I know that sometimes you take on a lot by yourself, correct? Am I not correct, Soror?
Yeah, you are so right.
I'm going to second that. She takes on a lot.
Christine said yes, too.
And I bet these whole social media will say, yep. And I bet people have always said, Nachand, I can help you. And you're like, no, I got it. But now God has placed you in a position where you told him yourself, God, I need help. And that is what he wanted you to do, because sometimes when we are doing what God has called us to do, I know we take it like a little baby and we're very careful with it. But just like Jesus had his disciples, everyone in the Bible had help. We have to branch out sometimes and trust that there is help out there and that God's going to send the right people. So now we all know that you have help in this, not just your journey in business, but you are sharing your journey like Dr. Christine did on the road to recovery. Now, were you hesitant about that? Telling the world, now, look, world, I'm this tri-guy warrior. I'm doing a millionaire, but now I've got an issue. Were you hesitant at all in sharing that?
Once again, I got to tell you and be honest with you all, I was very hesitant because, as you know, I just have a heart for helping people, and this is so hard for me to receive help. So I said I can't tell people what's going on with me because I still want to be out here advocating and helping people, and I don't want not to be in a position where I cannot help people. So I meditated and I prayed on it, and it got to the point to where I knew I can't do this alone. I need the community is going to be, and I tell people, and I don't know if people really fully understand, but the community is the part of my healing.
Yes.
God is healing, and he's using the community to be a part of my healing process. And when I tell you, this community alone in Louisville, Kentucky, has helped me in so many ways to be able to walk into my healing that I'm already walking in. It's unbelievable. And I'm just so grateful for people saying, hey, Nachand, do you need me to help you run errands? Hey, Nachand, we know that you need to be at this board meeting. We need your voice at the board meeting. How about we come and pick you up and make sure that we walk you inside of the board meeting? And when you get out of the board meeting, we're there waiting for you to go to lunch. And you would believe the work that people are pulling out. Hey, Nachand, do you need a ride to go to your personal trainer? Because guess what? We need to be able to make sure that you're getting the strength you need at your personal trainer. So we're going to make sure we send you a chauffeur today to help you to get to where you need to go to.
Amen.
I can't believe it. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, you've poured out so much in this community. And sometimes we think that we don't receive, but now God has placed you in the receiving season. And I must say, once again, is your trainer the same Dewan Means?
Yes,
by any means fitness? Dewan Means. We're going to have to get you on here, but I don't want you to come on here and tell me that I need to come back to you. because I'm going to do it in my own time, okay? But we need to... Because he's a beast. You gotta be in a right frame of mind to deal with DeJuan Means sometimes. But you get results. You get results. Let me tell you something. So, Dr. Christine, I want you to elaborate when I asked Sora Nachand, did you feel hesitant about, you said you began Stroke of Grace just to graduate, and then you had one thing. Did you feel hesitant about what God was revealing to you about taking this bigger and sharing more?
So no, there was never a time when I felt hesitant.
Okay.
I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Okay.
It was one day when I was out and I was walking,
Mm-hmm.
and it just came and said, you must do this. You have to do this.
I love it. Soror Nachand, Soror Dr. Christine, since y'all share the same trainer, DeJuan Means by any means fitness, I'll keep on saying by any means necessary, because that's what he makes you do when you think 30 seconds of the rope and 30 seconds of the plank are like 3 hours. You got to push through.
By the way, I made 40 seconds on this week.
You heard? Say it again, Christine. You made how long?
40 seconds.
40 seconds on the plank?
Yes.
That ain't, listen. You talking about a walking miracle. That plank ain't no joke. Let me tell you something.
Last month I had 27 seconds. So.
DeJuan would tell you when Tanya White comes in there. First of all, y'all know I had to listen to my boys' New Edition. So DeJuan, when you talking about having a trainer who understands you, he understands your motivation. So he always has New Edition playing, right? But when he makes me do that plank, I'm like, is it 30 seconds yet? No, it's only been 5.
I count by 10.
Nachand, do you ever be like, come on, DeJuan, help a sister out?
Yes. I say, he'll tell me, I said, well, I don't know if I could do that. He said, well, let's try it.
Let's try it. Oh, and he's so cool with it, y'all. We're going to try. Let's push through. We got to get results. We got to do this. He's so cool with it. Love him. So, Soror Nachand, Soror Dr. Christine, y'all have mighty testimonies about your unexpected illnesses and how now you are taking that to empower others. Now, will y'all do collaborations in the future?
Absolutely. Nay, I'm gonna take that and say, yes, we are going to do that. So
y'all heard it first on Real Talk with Tanya White. So when y'all get that together, y'all have to come back. Because I'm trying to be the Ricky Smiley, the Oprah Winfrey of Louisville with Real Talk with Tanya White. So I'm trying to break important stories and great news. So when y'all have y'all collaboration, the Tri-God Warrior, the Stroke of Grace Queen, who are women of the Divine 1913 Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We got to put that out there. Y'all have to come back. Now, Nachand, with your this is a recent journey for you, but I know, we all know you. You turn tragedy into triumph for everybody. And I'm your book person.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my book coach. Yes.
Well,
my book coach.
Listen now. I've been on you since the Tri-God. Tri-Gods is almost 4 years old. Will you have put this in writing eventually? Your journey.
I think I'm going to have to put it in the writing. I think I'm going to have to eventually figure out a podcast. I'm getting so many people that are inboxing me from with testimonials and saying, hey, Nathan, thank you for putting this out, because I've been having MS for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, and some of my family don't even really know, but you are encouraging me to reach out to get help the way I need help. So I'm just, I think it's going to get bigger than what I can even imagine. And as I look at, I saw Christine Cosby around the Stroke of Grace and how she is using that as part of her ministry and her encouragement to all these amazing women who have been through this. It's a medical challenge. It's motivational to me. And every time I see Dr. Christine Cosby, I say, you know what? She's really my motivation, because I remember back when she went through it, how I just labored before God and was prostrate praying for her. every single day.
Yes. We all were.
Praying for her. And yeah, we love her today and praying for her healing, praying for her family, praying for God to restore and make her to be the woman that she is right now, and her testimony to be the light of the world. So I say all this to say is a part of that journey was inspirational even to me, and the fact that we're even closer now.
Yeah.
Through this journey is like it's getting even. I don't know what Circle Grace and Try God and MS, and I don't know whatever He has next for us, but it's something major that I don't even think we can even fathom what God has for us.
Yes. So I have creative ideas. We're just going to pray that Ava DuVernay comes and wants to do a documentary on Stroke of Grace and the MS challenge of Nachand, because not just a book, but we need this documented, visual documentation so that people can understand what perseverance looks like, especially for women of color, because y'all both mighty business women. And so even in the midst of running a business, life happens. And so now you have to take care of yourself. You have to enlist people. And so before you go, Nachand, leave our audience with one thing you want to share about your journey and people not giving up.
One thing that I want to share about my journey with everyone who is listening is first, you have to recognize, you have to be honest with yourself when you're going through whatever you're going through and say, hey, this is something that I need to deal with. Deal with it the right way that you're supposed to deal with it. Of course, I mean that by saying go to the science, of course, go to the doctors, listen to what they are telling you to do, but also you have to really get down on your knees and make sure that you are in relationship with the man above, and you ask him to walk into your healing, and then you're gonna have to actually do work yourself.
Yes.
So my doctor don't prescribe me. I don't get a prescription to go to personal training. I don't get a prescription to go to eating clean and healthy eating. I don't get a prescription to say, Nachand, you need to be gluten free now. So these are the foods that you need to eat. My doctors, they don't like those prescriptions. I don't get the prescription to say, Nachand, make sure you incorporate self-care, because self-care really helps you, because any type of stress really triggers MS. So I'm learning these things. Today at 1 o'clock, I'm going to a lunch and learn on MS at the Neuroscience Center. But the doctor don't prescribe those type of things. They tell you about them, but they're not calling me saying, you got to go here, do this, do that. Those are things that you're going to have to go. You're going to have to commit to doing so that you can totally walk into your healing. You got to be able to say, I'm going to put the work in to walk into the healing. So I tell everyone, it's not an easy thing, because I'm learning my body all over again, and I'm learning how to really lean and trust on God even more. And while I'm doing all of that, I want to take other people with me so that they can be able to walk into their healing, and so they can figure out how to navigate through whatever illness that they have too as well. So I want to bring people along so that we can all be healed and walk into all this greatness that God already has planned out for our lives.
Well, amen. Continued success. Millionaire Marketplace event on April 18th, correct? On 4th Street Live. We're going back to 4th Street, right?
Actually, it's not April. It's this Saturday. It's March the 18th.
March the 18th.
12 to 5, yes.
March the 18th. Okay. Oh, it's March 18th this Saturday? Lord have mercy.
This Saturday. And we're going to roll out an online marketplace too, for those who are listening, got families from out of town, or those who say I can't get down there, but I want to be able to shop. And just go to our website and be able to check out where we're going to be traveling to next on our website.
Look at Jesus. Online marketplace, March 18th and April 8th. Millionaire Marketplace back on 4th Street. And the online marketplace. Look at God expanding that. Thank you, Soror. We're going to close out. Continue to listen. Dr. Christine, do you have any events coming up? And then lastly, what do you want to leave about the Stroke of Grace?
Our next event is Coffee and Conversations, and is on April the 1st. So that's a few weeks away. It is a free event. It is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will have some amazing doctors. We have a discussion also that's going to be moderated by Ms. Lucretia Sewell, who is the owner of Melanated Market. I'm sorry, Shan. I'm sorry. I'm talking to you about Melanated Market. Melanated Healthcare.
Okay.
Excuse me. It's an app, and it's a very interesting app. So she's going to moderate our panel for us, and then we're going to have someone that's going to be there to talk to us about disabilities, and how we really can, figure out our way through this whole disability process. And if you're disabled, and we'll have some vendors. It's there. This is a free event. You can register online at strokeofgrace.org, or you can go to bit.ly/ASOG stroke coffee and conversations, all lowercase. But Dewan,
Dewan, you over here tripping us out.
Okay.
Dewan wants us to say oop. Because he's a Kappa. No, he's one of a great supporter of many people in this city. Love him. You gotta love him. So thank you so much for sharing your journey more in detail. I look forward to that. Also, I'm just thinking about disabilities. Y'all might need to do a session on filling out their disability paperwork. That's that's a beast. Yes. Okay?
That is coming because
we need an advocate.
Yes, we do.
For that, because I remember when I was helping my mom, it was like it was like 5,000 pieces of paper. Yes. Even if it's online now, it's online, but it's so much. So maybe just a session on that. What you need? What is disability?
It's coming. Actually, I just met with an organization yesterday about just what you're talking about. So it is coming.
Amen. Real talk with Tanya White breaks the news here. I told y'all. Listen, if you want to be a guest on here, friend me on Facebook. I'm both Dr. Christine's friend and Nachand. I want to take this show today on the road. Absolutely. Are y'all available Saturday? Dewan. Dewan, he's everybody's manager. Listen, tune in to Go Get It with Tanya White podcast today. We're talking to Harvey LaGuerre. He's talking about his attempted suicide because he just felt like giving up, and he's a black man. So black men do think about suicide and giving up on the world. Also, join me Saturday for Fix Your Crown Sis at Spirit-Filled. Oh, God. New Life Ministries, thank you, on Hazelwood. I will be talking about healing from trauma when you deal with other people's drama. Listen, when you date somebody who's crazy, you are traumatized. So I'm going to share my story. Also, share this episode of Real Talk with Tanya White. We will upload it on our YouTube channel. This has been enlightening, inspiring, and we want to hear more. We need to see you all together. Continue your work. Again, remember, whatever test you're going through is all for a testimony. Vinny, kick us out of here. Thank y'all so much. Share this. We're going to revisit this topic and more issues that impact impact the black community.
She's talking to her.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You're good.
Love y'all.